Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest project of your life is not your job, not your business, not your degree, and not even your dreams. The biggest project of your life is you. Think about it. We spend hours scrolling through other people's lives, admiring their success, watching their achievements, and wondering how they became so confident, so successful, and so powerful. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself a simple question? When was the last time I invested that same energy into improving myself? The truth is that life does not change because the calendar changes. Life changes when you change. Success is not something you chase, it is something you attract by becoming a better version of yourself. Every great achievement you admire today started with someone deciding to spend time on their growth instead of their excuses. Most people are waiting for the perfect opportunity, the perfect moment, or the perfect support system. But the people who truly transform their lives understand something different. They understand that the most valuable investment they will ever make is not in a bank account, a business, or a possession. It is in their mind, their character, their skills, and their personal growth. Because when you become better, everything around you begins to become better too. Your growth is your responsibility. There comes a moment in every person's life when the excuses become too heavy to carry. A moment when blaming circumstances, blaming people, blaming the past, and blaming bad luck no longer feels satisfying. It is the moment you stand in front of the mirror and realize that the person looking back at you is both the problem and the solution. That realization can be painful because it removes every place you used to hide. But it is also one of the most empowering discoveries you will ever make. The day you understand that your growth is your responsibility is the day you stop waiting for life to happen and start creating the life you deserve. Nobody can think your thoughts for you. Nobody can build your confidence for you. Nobody can fight your inner battles for you. People may support you, love you, and encourage you, but they cannot walk the path that was designed specifically for your feet. The strongest people are not the ones who had the most help. They are the ones who decided to move forward even when help was nowhere to be found. Many people spend years wishing for a better life while refusing to become a better version of themselves. They want different results while repeating the same habits. They want success without sacrifice, confidence without discomfort, and growth without effort. But life has never worked that way. A seed does not become a tree because it dreams about sunlight. It becomes a tree because it pushes through darkness, fights through storms, and grows through seasons that nobody applauds. In the same way, your potential cannot grow if it remains protected inside your comfort zone. Every skill you learn, every fear you confront, every weakness you improve is a step toward becoming the person you were meant to be. Growth is not something that arrives one morning as a gift. It is something you build with patience, discipline, and daily commitment. The truth is that personal growth often feels lonely because it requires you to make choices that others may not understand. While some people are chasing distractions, you may be chasing purpose. While others are spending their energy on complaints, you may be spending yours on improvement. There will be moments when nobody notices your efforts, nobody praises your discipline, nobody recognizes the sacrifices you are making behind closed doors, but growth has never depended on recognition. The roots of the strongest tree grow underground where nobody can see them. In the same way, the strongest transformations happen in silence. Long before the world notices your success, your character is being built. Long before people admire your confidence, your courage is being tested. Long before they celebrate your achievements, your persistence is shaping the foundation beneath them. The most beautiful thing about taking responsibility for your growth is that it returns your power to you. Suddenly, your future is no longer controlled by your past. Your dreams are no longer controlled by your circumstances. Your happiness is no longer controlled by other people's opinions. You stop asking who will save you because you begin discovering your own strength. You stop waiting for opportunities because you start preparing yourself for them. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of life and start seeing yourself as a creator of possibilities. Every day becomes an opportunity to learn something new, become someone better, and move one step closer to your highest potential. That is where real transformation begins. Not when life becomes easier, but when you become stronger. Small improvements create extraordinary results. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that success happens in giant leaps. They look at successful people and see the result, but they never see the thousands of small decisions that created it. They see confidence, but not the years of self-doubt that were conquered. They see achievement, but not the countless failures that came before it. They see strength, but not the silent battles that shaped it. The truth is that extraordinary lives are built through ordinary actions, repeated consistently. Every great journey begins with a single step. Every masterpiece begins with a single stroke. Every transformation begins with a small decision to become slightly better than you were yesterday. The problem is that small improvements often look insignificant in the moment, so people underestimate their power. Imagine a person who decides to read 10 pages every day. 10 pages may not seem like much. It may not feel life-changing, but after a year, that person has read thousands of pages, absorbed countless ideas, and expanded their understanding of the world. Imagine someone who chooses to exercise for 20 minutes a day. The first day changes almost nothing. The first week changes very little. But months later, that person stands stronger, healthier, and more confident. This is how transformation works. It is not dramatic in the beginning. It is quiet. It is gradual. It is invisible. But every small action is casting a vote for the person you are becoming. Every positive choice is a brick placed in the foundation of your future. The reason most people quit is because they expect immediate rewards. They want proof that their effort is working. They want visible results right away. But growth often happens beneath the surface before it appears above it. Just as a farmer waters the soil long before seeing a harvest, you must trust your efforts even when the results are invisible. Every day you stay disciplined. Every day you choose learning over laziness. Every day you choose progress over excuses. Something inside you is changing. Your mindset is expanding. Your habits are strengthening. Your character is evolving. The changes may not be visible to others, but they are preparing you for opportunities that your current version is not yet ready to handle. Never underestimate the power of becoming 1% better each day. A tiny improvement may seem insignificant when viewed alone, but over time, it creates extraordinary results. The strongest mountains are built from tiny particles. The widest oceans are made of countless drops of water. The most remarkable lives are built through consistent effort over long periods of time. Stop looking for shortcuts and start respecting the process. Stop waiting for a breakthrough and start focusing on daily growth. Because the small actions you repeat today are quietly shaping the future you will live tomorrow. Protect your time, like your future depends on it. Time is one of the few things in life that treats everyone equally. Every person receives the same 24 hours each day. Rich or poor, successful or struggling, famous or unknown, everyone wakes up with the same amount of time. Yet the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who merely dream often comes down to how they use those precious hours. Many people protect their money more carefully than they protect their time. They become upset when someone wastes a few dollars but remain unaware of the countless hours slipping away through distractions, procrastination, and meaningless habits. The tragedy is that money can be earned again, but time can never be recovered. Once a moment passes, it belongs to history forever. Look closely at your daily routine and you will discover the blueprint of your future. Your habits are telling a story about where you are headed. Every hour spent learning is building knowledge. Every hour spent practicing is building skill. Every hour spent improving yourself is creating opportunities that do not yet exist. But every hour wasted on negativity, excuses, and distractions is quietly stealing the life you could have lived. The future is not something that suddenly appears one day. It is something that is being created by the choices you make right now. What you repeatedly do with your time eventually becomes who you are. The modern world is filled with distractions competing for your attention. Notifications, endless scrolling, unnecessary drama, and constant comparison are pulling people away from their goals every single day. Many people say they want success, but they give their best energy to things that contribute nothing to their growth. They spend hours watching other people build their dreams while neglecting their own. They become experts in everyone else's lives while remaining strangers to their own potential. If you truly want to improve yourself, you must learn to protect your attention, because where your attention goes, your life follows. The quality of your future depends on the quality of what you consistently focus on. There is something incredibly powerful about deciding that your time is valuable. When you begin treating your hours like an investment instead of an endless resource, your priorities start to change. You become more intentional about where your energy goes. You become more selective about who influences your mindset. You stop giving your best years to habits that keep you stuck. Every moment becomes an opportunity to learn, grow, and move closer to your purpose. Because one day you will either look back with gratitude for how you spent your time or with regret for how much of it was wasted. And that choice is being made every single day. Become stronger than your excuses. Every dream begins with enthusiasm, but not every dream survives the excuses that follow. At the beginning, motivation feels powerful. You feel inspired, you feel ready, you promise yourself that this time things will be different, but then life starts testing that promise. The alarm rings early and the bed feels more comfortable. The opportunity appears and fear starts whispering reasons why you are not ready. The challenge arrives and suddenly the mind becomes creative in finding excuses. I will start tomorrow. I do not have enough time. I am waiting for the right moment. Maybe I am not talented enough. Excuses often sound reasonable because they wear the disguise of logic. They protect you from discomfort, but they also protect you from growth. The sad truth is that every excuse you accept today becomes a limitation you carry into tomorrow. Every dream abandoned was once defeated not by difficulty, but by a story someone kept telling themselves about why they could not continue. Life has never promised perfect conditions. The strongest people you admire did not wait for the storm to pass before moving forward. They learned how to walk through the storm. They learned how to keep going when motivation disappeared. They learned how to continue when nobody was cheering for them. If you study successful people closely, you will discover something remarkable. They had fears, they had doubts, they had obstacles, they had moments when quitting seemed easier than continuing. What separated them from others was not the absence of excuses. It was their refusal to obey them. They understood that courage is not a magical feeling that appears before action. Courage is what develops after action. Confidence is not something you find. Confidence is something you build by repeatedly doing what you once believed you could not do. There are people who spend years explaining why their life is not changing. They can describe every obstacle in detail. They can tell you every reason they are struggling. They can point to every circumstance working against them. Yet there are other people facing the same challenges who continue moving forward. The difference is not always resources, talent, or opportunity. Often the difference is perspective. One person asks, "Why is this happening to me?" While the other asks, "What is this trying to teach me?" One sees obstacles as walls, the other sees them as training grounds. Every challenge in your life carries a hidden lesson. Every difficulty is developing a strength you may not recognize yet. The problem is that excuses keep your attention on the problem while growth keeps your attention on the solution. Imagine where your life could be if you stop negotiating with every excuse that appears in your mind. Imagine the confidence you would build if you consistently honored your commitments to yourself. Imagine the opportunities that would open if you chose action instead of hesitation. Your future is not waiting for a perfect version of you, it is waiting for a committed version of you. The strongest version of yourself is not created on easy days. It is created on the days when you are tired but continue anyway. When you are afraid but move forward anyway. When you are uncertain but take the next step anyway. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, you prove to yourself that your dreams are stronger than your fears and your purpose is greater than your comfort. Invest in the person you will become tomorrow. One of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself is this: if The person I become 5 years from now walked into this room today. Would they be proud of the choices I am making right now? That future version of you is being created every single day. Not in one dramatic moment, not through one life-changing decision, but through thousands of small choices that seem insignificant at the time. The books you read, the habits you build, the skills you develop, the people you surround yourself with, and the thoughts you allow to live inside your mind are all shaping the person you are becoming. Every day, you are either investing in your future self or borrowing from it. Every decision carries consequences that travel far beyond today. The life you will live tomorrow is being designed by the actions you choose right now. Many people spend years investing in everything except themselves. They invest time in distractions, energy in comparisons, and attention in things that bring no lasting value. They become experts at maintaining appearances while neglecting personal growth. Yet the greatest investment you can ever make is in your own development, because unlike money, possessions, or status, what you become can never be taken away from you. Skills can create opportunities. Knowledge can open doors. Character can sustain success. Wisdom can guide you through challenges. When you invest in yourself, you carry the returns of that investment everywhere you go. Every lesson learned becomes part of your strength. Every challenge overcome becomes part of your confidence. Every experience transformed into wisdom becomes part of your identity. The journey of self-improvement is not always exciting. There are no crowds applauding when you wake up early to work on your goals. There is no audience celebrating the days you choose discipline over comfort. Most growth happens in private. It happens in moments that nobody sees and nobody praises. It happens when you decide to read instead of scroll. It happens when you choose learning instead of complaining. It happens when you continue working on yourself even when progress feels slow. The world often celebrates results, but results are merely the visible expression of years of invisible effort. Behind every successful person is a collection of ordinary days spent doing extraordinary things consistently. The greatness people admire is usually built during moments that looked completely ordinary at the time. One day, the person you are becoming will look back at the choices you are making today. They will either thank you or question why you waited so long to start. They will either benefit from your discipline or suffer because of your procrastination. They will either stand on the foundation you built or struggle because you refuse to build it. That future version of yourself deserves your effort. They deserve your courage. They deserve your commitment to growth. Every page you read, every skill you practice, every fear you overcome, and every lesson you learn is a gift you are sending forward in time. The person you become is not determined by luck, circumstances, or chance. It is determined by what you consistently invest in. And when you choose to invest in yourself every day, you begin creating a future that is stronger, wiser, more confident, and more capable than anything you can currently imagine. The most important relationship you will ever have is the relationship you have with yourself. Long after the applause fades, long after people come and go, long after circumstances change, you will still be left with the person you chose to become. That is why spending time on your growth is never a waste. Every moment you dedicate to learning, healing, improving, and evolving is a step toward a life filled with greater purpose and deeper fulfillment. Do not be discouraged if progress feels slow. Mountains are not moved in a day, and strong character is not built overnight. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep choosing growth over comfort, discipline over excuses, and purpose over distraction. Remember, the person who changes their habits changes their future. And the person who changes their mindset changes their entire life. As you move forward from this moment, stop asking whether the journey will be easy and start asking whether the destination is worth the effort. Stop doubting your ability to grow and start trusting the power of consistent action. You are capable of far more than your fears want you to believe. The strongest version of yourself is not a distant dream. It is being built through the choices you make every single day. One day, All the sacrifices, all the lessons, all the struggles, and all the quiet moments of self-improvement will come together and reveal the person you worked so hard to become. Never forget these words. Success is not about being better than others. It is about being better than the person you were yesterday. Keep growing, keep believing, keep moving forward, because the best investment you will ever make is in yourself, and the rewards of that investment can transform not only your life, but the lives of everyone you inspire along the way.